Okay, this is part 4 of my pitch meeting, my presentation. So, part 3. Part 3 was the introduction to the different game modes, to the different modes after you create your profile. Now, you could set which game mode is your favorite, of course, or which mode you would like to start as your favorite. That looks a little menacing. Switch up the style a bit. Looks too gray. Want to seem approachable. Nope, that's not it. Here we go. Okay. So, the game modes. You'll be able to set which one you prefer to come to, of course. And that would be great. The modes would be operating system, which is the game mode of the operating system. The second one would be game mode, which is to jump right into the games that you buy. The third would be entertainment, your YouTubes, your Netflix, your Hulus, your Disney Pluses, your Funimations, all of those, you know. And the last one would be creative mode, which is sort of a developer's mode. And these would be your game mode. So, once you select operating system mode, you'll be transferred into something like this. It'll be your starter home. Now, in your starter home, you'll have access to a bunch of different things. Whoops, let me sit back down. For example, the TV. How you can watch the TV. How do I watch the TV again? I did not mean to stand up. Sit down, please. Okay, watch TV. Now, for example, you watch the TV. This is to bring you straight into your Netflix, your Hulu, your things like that. Because it's supposed to be able to have access to everything that your system is capable of. Let's say I don't have one here. Let's say I walk in here and I got a computer. I access the computer, that takes me into creative mode. Now, I would like to have, okay, this works great. Oh shit. Excuse me. Didn't create a private party. People were listening. It's not that I have a problem with people listening. It's just, I didn't want to be interrupted. Okay, now you access your computer. You have a creative mode. You know? The creative mode, that's where you have access to your creative mode and you can do your building and all of this stuff. Now, this menu right here, it's going to be one of my best friends. Something similar. I would love Rockstar to be on that round table. I created a round table. I'll get back to that in a second. But this menu, this would be your menu to different things. Like, for example, you're inside the house, you know. This would be to create a Sims environment. If you ever played The Sims, they're house builder. So you could edit the inside of your house, you can edit the outside, how it looks, and things like that. You know, you will also have access to menus to edit your city. You know, But the game modes to have access to these menus will vary, because I had, like, for example, if you're offline, it's easier to have access to these menus. If you're online, for example, to edit the city, because you're playing with other people, people want access to that too. So you'll have to do missions or tasks or challenges pertaining to that in order to have access to that menu. So therefore, somebody else in the lobby may focus on something else and they have access to that menu. And it's sort of still a battleground, because you run into each other and you can stop each other, because people may have conflict of interest with you, or you could just stay to yourself and hopefully you pull off enough, because you're competing in order to, have access to the menu. But things like your home, you pull up this menu and you select it, and you could go change your interior, redecorate things, move things around, buy things for your home, Now,
Hi there.
Sorry, 1 second. Okay. Now, just like The Sims, you could change appearances and clothes in here. And again, I want the same thing. Your clothes to be access to your skins. There'll be access to characters that you have, so you can run around this open world, this open environment with these various characters, and you can live out your fantasies as these characters. Now, when I talked about the character creation and the profile creation, the open world that will be on the outside will be tailored to the age range. So, for example, your child, you might buy a lot of Lego games and Mario games and things for your child. Your child walk into the garage or whatever, they have access to their Mario Kart. They have access to their Lego car. They have access to the cars and the games that they played in these games. The world outside, even though you hear explosions and stuff, it'll still be similar, because some children, people in general, they just like to play games and live out fantasies and be chaotic and have fun with their friends, So again, we'll be riding around in the open world, which I'll get to a little bit more just, explaining, and the NPCs will be Lego character, a mixture of Lego characters and Mario characters and whatever games you bought your child or whatever games you bought yourself. Now it all depends, like you said, on the profile. You'll have access to limiting what characters and things, your child have access to that's on the system. Because, for example, you might not want CJ running around with Lego Mario, because I do want those characters to play out like they would in their video game a little bit, to hold up those standards of their game. So it's to sort of tempt you to, come to that side of town and access those characters and, shop you more of those games because you like being around those characters in the world and the environment. So it would be like that. That would be what the world would be, consist of. Now that goes back into what I was saying about the city. Like, this is a beautiful city. Liberty City is beautiful. I want to be able to, like I said, the buildings in the city to be a mixture of buildings and things from the games you played. Now, I have a system I would like to implement that's a mixture of everything, and I hope that I could convey it correctly. Now, let's check the map. Map. Now the map, this isn't a great example because it's one body mass. But like, this not Liberty City, this San Andreas. I'm stupid, you know. But anyway, Liberty City is set up as islands. I would like 5 islands. A center one. You can say this square right here, a center one. Water around it, connected by a bridge. Another island, north, south, east, and west around it. The center island will be a combination of, you see how there's other players in the lobby moving around, like this car, that dot, those are other characters, other players. The center island will be a combination of, okay, of everything the other players have. But in order so it's not chaos, it will be the owners of the 4 islands, north, south, east, and west. The middle island will be a combination of those characters, of those players, worlds, what games they have, what buildings, make up their islands, will be a combination here in the middle. And in the middle will be like a free-for-all. Like I said, those tasks to open up certain parts of the menu and run certain menus, that would be for the center island. Now your own island that you came with, you have access to your menus and that to personalize it for you and to make it more comfy for gamers of your type. Once people land on your island, they have to abide by your rules. So that encourages exploration, and people don't feel alienated because it's like, okay, I allow people to do this, But if somebody wanted to create an island where there's no guns, then any weapon you have, you don't have access to once you enter that island. But the center island is free for all. If you want control over it, you got to do the tasks and the challenges in order to have access to the most menus. Now, it would be all the 4 islands, even though one person is the host of the island, each island could house up to, let's say, 20 people. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8 people, 80 people that have access to this vast terrain. These 4 islands and the 5th one in the middle. Now there's another game that I will use an example. It's called City Skyline. And that's more so for when you're offline. To tailor your city, your island, which would be basically the center island. When you're offline, the center island will be your island. That's going to be the island you take online, which would be one of the 4. So that'll be for you to be able to tailor your island to your liking, and then the 4 islands surrounding it will be heavily catered to, even though it's a compilation of everything you have on your system, it will be heavily tailored to the last 4 games you played. So therefore, sort of marketing and to remind you where you're at in games and things like that. Because you gravitate to these games because you like them. So all these neighborhoods should be something you like and have something that interests you. And that's how the open world will be set up. Now let's see. Oh, I'm right here. Ain't that something? Next stop, the movie theater. So I had an idea for the movie theater. 1 second, Lester. because I want people to have access. They're not open. Because I want people to have access to their forms of entertainment. You know, their Netflix, their Hulus. You know, for it to be seamless. You know, because like I said, we use video games as more than just games. Parents, I want to say there should be a limitation. Like maybe the last on your last watch list or something. You know, for you to, when you come to the movie theater, one of those movies on your last watch list is playing at the movie theater from your Netflix or your Hulu. So therefore, other people that's playing, if you like, we live across the world. If we want to watch a movie together, we could both ride to the movie theater, and we both could watch the latest movie on whatever's our streaming thing. You know, because we pay for streaming services. You know, if you check what device a lot of streaming services are, other than mobile devices, I guarantee you it's a video game console. It's probably more video game consoles than laptops or computers. So it would be tailored to movies though, and it be like, you know, like I said, something you previously watched. You know, so that way you don't, and it's what's shown at the time. You know, so it's still random. It's stuff you like, and you can share it with others. Like, hey, you want to go watch, right? Or if you go back to your house, you know, and you switch on the TV, you can switch from you can select, you know, your TV shows and things like that because it's more comfortable, right? You have access to TV shows. Now I also had another idea where, let's see, right now, like sort of, there's billboards throughout the town, you know, or, you know, on bus stops and things. And those, I want those to be like your social media, you know, hot topics, hot things like that.
Listen, this is Tony Prince.
So you're like, you know, somebody just posted something, you know, you see it. Even though it could come through on your phone, it's to kind of not break the immersion, you know. And if you do have your social media hooked up, because I would like to have access to this stuff, you know, because people have access to it, you know, you could, you know, pull up your phone, message somebody on your messenger, you know, call somebody, you know, things like that. You know, because the goal is to bring together people, you know. And what else? What other idea did I have? Yeah, so the goal is to bring together people, and you can just do crazy things. Now, for example, this, okay, whoops, pull up the map, right here, S. This is a mission. This is an NPC who has things for you to do. Now, the goal would be, let's say I want to learn, you know, I'm a 10-year-old kid who spends a lot of time on a video game. Now, because I want to go run around shooting aliens and robots, what this person is telling me and teaching me has correlation to what I'm supposed to be learning at my age range. This is why I want the Board of Education on my, you know, on my round table, like I would like Rockstar. So I'm a 10-year-old kid, even though the goal is to still be able to have fun and not limit a child on their fun and imagination. but to incorporate learning into it. You know, I go here and it's all like, hey, you think you can hang with me? First off, what's 2 plus 2? Who was the president in 1945? You know, like, all right, you got the brains, so you got the bronze, you run a mission. You're like, okay, what I need you to remember is this. You know, once you remember this, you get to where you gotta go, you do the mission. They're gonna ask you, do you remember what it was? Yeah. You know, even the mission itself could be tailored to things. Like, for example, you're like, hey, you want to drive around on a car, you know, in the car and have some fun. Let me teach you how to fix the flat. First, you got to get the parts to fix it. You know, you need a tire, an extra tire. You need a crowbar, you know, a jack. Things, what do you need to fix a car? So you, bam. You know, like, oh, I got a flat. Hey, you got a jack, Mom? What you know about a jack? I had to fix one to drive my Mario Kart. Every time it, you know, it break or something, or I get a flat, I got to pull it out and fix it. A mini game. You know? So things to teach and things of that sort. Okay. Next thing about the open world that I think is one of the funnest things ever. Destruction. Destroy, build, destroy. We're allowed to create a lot of destruction and stuff in this game. In these games. Not just this game. A lot of games. Even Minecraft. You can go fight zombies for all the greatness and tranquility and peacefulness there is. Now the goal is, once I start blowing stuff and the police blowing stuff up and the police come, it's a representation of the good guys in the game I play. So the police officer might be Mario. It might be Seamus. Master Chief might be pulling up in a warthog. You know? Because one of the funs about video games is like banging your toys together. And if I'm buying and spending this money for all these toys, why shouldn't I be able to bang them together? You understand? So it'll be, you know, I'm getting chased by Batman. I think I've escaped. But just when I, you know, make it back home, guess who caught me in a quick time event? Batman. Like, ah, get off me! Ah! You know? Just to add fun and excitement to it. You know? I might become I might want to play detective a lot myself. So, you know, I might go looking for Batman. He might be one of my mentors. You know? It's all about how people want to play. Sometimes people like playing, you know, we call it the bad guy, but it's fun sometimes being able to cause some destruction and some havoc, you know, without having to worry about or needing to worry about getting in trouble. You know, and once you see characters that you associate with fun and goodness and kindness as your law enforcement, your vision towards law enforcement may change. I'm not saying it will, but it may. You know, because you're like, they're not the bad guys. You know, maybe I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. You know? And that's the whole point, to be like, find something else to do, something constructive. You're like, oh man, you know, I saw somebody, you know, they did this to their car. I wonder, how do I do it? So you, hey, Gabb Games, how do I do this? And our customer service rep pop up. Like, okay, if you want to know how to do this, we could run this mission. And they tell you, you know, the who, what, where, why, when, the procedure, and the tools you need, as in the form of a mission though. You know, like, dang, I wonder how I do that. Like, oh, I got just the mission for you. So the phone ain't rung in a while, but when the phone ring or text message ring in the video game though, not in real life. You know, it helps. Now we do want it to correlate to real life. So for example, I might want to learn how to, let's say, how to create a cut scene or something. Now that's a little too intricate. You know, how to change a tire. You know, let's say just because I search how to change a tire, now it's a lot more tires around town that need to be changed. You know, I put a few time into it, like, change a tire, change a tire, change a tire. It's like, hey, your local tire shop is here. Would you like to arrange, would you like to some hands-on experience? And like, yeah, so maybe they could arrange it, or we could arrange it, I should say, with your parents first, because it's like, hey, your child's been fixing tires. They might want to learn how to fix a tire. Would you like to teach them? Do you have the equipment to teach them? If not, would you like a meeting at your local tire shop to be set up so they can have hands-on experience? So like that. And I would have never thought they running around on the game fixing tires. Like, yeah. Or what else they want to learn, Like, who knows? Because kids got great imagination. Sometimes you be like, why would you create that? Like, I want to create a gun that shoot chicken farts, and it make the person have smell marks and stuff around them. Like, I want to create a motorcycle that fly, or I might get bored with it. Something else. Like, does my motorcycle need wheels? Like, if you don't want wheels, what do you want to propel it? What would you put in place of it? Like some jets or something, whatever, whatever they can put in mind. They might want heads in place of tires. It's, you don't want to limit them. You want to have the boundless creations. So they'd be like, that was stupid. What was I thinking? Just like how people go back to their Facebook comments and things. Like, what was I thinking? Now I'm smarter. I'm older, more mature. If I did this and this, or I could still do this. Oh, money maker. So, for example, you might, all depends on things you do for the city. Like, there's a challenge that just popped up. It goes into your rank, your rep meter or whatever. We're going to call it your election meter, because we're going to say the people voted you in charge of this. Like, it's a democracy. You put in your work, you put in your time and your effort, and here's where people see you, and here's where you won. And if somebody beat you out, they beat you out by this much. So there's a little score system. So I can access the menu. Like, what? I want all the police cars, or all the police, to be the militia or the military from Titanfall. So now they running around in their vehicles, if the game has vehicles. If not, they're provided some to avoid things you don't have. So they be pulling up in regular police cars that say police. But if they have vehicles, they can pull up in vehicles that they have from the game. You're like, oh crap, what was I thinking? Imagine, because you have access to so much, which I'm gonna get into. You do something, and at the light, what you think is a roadblock, it's Darth Vader. He force push you off the bike. Oh my gosh! But because you have access to all the games on your system, you could go to different places on the map. Like, they used to have gyms on San Andreas. You can learn different fighting styles and stuff. You go to a gym, one day it might be Liu Kang, in game day. It might be Liu Kang, you can learn stuff from him. It might be, Ryu, you can learn stuff from him. It might be Spider-Man, because you play Spider-Man, you have web shooters equipped, As far as being able to switch up your equipment and stuff, I want you to have to buy it, do things in-game to buy it in-game. But once you buy so much, or you do so much, you rank up so much, it's nothing more than just pulling over and changing your loadout. But once you first start, and before you put in the time and the hours, I want you to have fun with it. So I want you to drive to the nearest store, which I guess I could use that. Well, I could use this too. This is a great coin. I go to my nearest store, right? Because I'm playing a Rockstar game right now. I might have Grand Theft Auto store. I might have a Midnight Club store. Either way, I'm gonna have a Rockstar store. It could just be Rockstar. And what do you get when you come to the store other than just skins or cosmetics? For example, I buy a Red Dead character skin, or a Red Dead Revolver character. I don't want to play the game, but I buy the character, the main character, John Marsh, right? I think is his name. Then I have access to his control scheme, to his play style. So I could just add the control scheme itself to my character. I unlock that character. He's able to be playable, and he's able to walk around. I'm able to see him in the open world. That might be him walking down there. It might be him driving the car. Right. So that would be microtransactions. These are the type of microtransactions I'm thinking about, where there's a supermarket and it adds value to your gameplay. Because that's the key thing, value to the gameplay. One system that uses something similar would be what is it? Unity game store. Well, Unity store, and the what things you buy and how it add on to your ability to create a game is important. So even when you go to creative mode, or you build your island and you want it to be a certain way, you have access to all of these things to tailor it to how you want to play. So even when you go to the center island, you're about ready with your game mode, you're sure in your game mode. Even though you're in third person, somebody might be in, first person. So the ability to do that is important. Borderlands, I didn't like when they did it. I just didn't like Borderlands third person, but the ability to do it, because Borderlands 2, when I first got my hands on it, you were able to switch your camera views. Now they got rid of that. but you were definitely able to do it when I played it for 360. I was like, that's neat. More games should do that to give me the option. What else? Okay, so we got stores. Again, like now your equipment, I want to determine the type of NPCs you run across. You know? Because Watch Dogs did great at keeping you occupied. Horizon Zero Dawn is another one. Final Fantasy, they're great at that too. What I mean by that is the time between getting to one destination and another, sometimes it could be grueling. You're like, oh my gosh, that's a long way across the map, like a ride on here. But what they do is they'll add in aggressive NPCs to make it action packed. Or did you just rob that lady? But anyway, get away from here. But yeah, that's why Watch Dogs is good at it too, because once you're riding around, it's a crime being active, you know? So with the crime being active, it gives you something to do to kind of, you know, keep you focused and drive you in a direction. Okay. I would like it to be sort of like to have a Grubhub capability, you know, because you have access to so many things from your mobile device, from a device, you know, and because I do want it to be for you to be able to operate it mobily, you know, because I still want you to have access to the open world, but it just worked for you. Like you go to a taco spot, like, you know, in-game purchase or real life purchase, you know. Of course, it go through your menu, your checks and balances, you know, verifications. But you're like, oh, I want tacos, because maybe you might not know what you want to eat, and sometimes seeing something, you know, make you want that. So it could even take the location of your game or your Wi-Fi or something and populate the food choices with food spots in your area. We have, you know, I say we because it's a digital field, but there's a lot of access. There's a lot of access to personal data. So it's to make sure people stay protected, you know. But we give it up anyway. For example, I'm like, do I really want my card information to be on the game, you know? But my card information is on the game anyway, because I buy games off the system. My card information is on, you know, my phone. It's just places, right? It's on the internet, even though hopefully it's not in the wrong hands. So we give people access to this stuff all the time, and why not make it work for us? You know, I'm on the bus playing the game anyway, killing time. Like, where that's at? What's the real relative location to me? You know, you pull up the map. You know, you look for relative location. You know, like, there's a fucking McDonald's right there. There's a Giordano's right there. You know, something. Speaking of that, I do got some pizza. So there's so much that you can actually do, you know. your kid, like because kids like to stop and eat and play and take naps in games. They don't like to do it in real life, but they like to do it in games. Like I wonder what, they've been playing the game for. I wonder what they've been eating. Or it's a suggestion that comes to your phone. Like, you know, child been eating this in the game. They might want something similar for dinner or something, to help you stay in tune with your kid. You know? And with your spouse, things like that. So it's interesting because let's look at location share on Apple iPhones. Let's say you and your spouse work different times. You might get home. I might get home before my wife or my spouse. And they're on their way home. Now I'm seeing more food advertisements pop up. Like, possibly they didn't eat. Maybe I should have food ready. What's on their mind. Relative location pop up in game. I see them pop up on my map. Like, they're en route. Because they're moving. Things like that. Like, I've been chilling all day. What's on their mind? Robbing banks, money possibly. Things like that. It's a lot. Send a message from your phone. I'm in game, I get it right on my screen. Like, make sure you take out the chicken. It's no excuse. The chicken shouldn't be thawed out in the sink by the time your wife, your husband, your mother, your pappy, your grandmother, your grandpappy, whoever, by the time they get home, there's no reason because it pop up on the screen. Yeah, you've been playing that damn game because it shows you're online. Even if it's on your phone, that's even better. No way you didn't see it. So it's for things like that, even with your social media. Like, bing. Like, oh my gosh, gotta turn that off. I keep pressing the wrong one. Like, bing. Oh my gosh, no. She kinda hot. And then for those that stream, of course you could privatize that stuff so nobody see it when it pop up. Things like that. Now I have a whole new idea on streaming. How I actually so let's say how I'm streaming live now, right? Even Grand Theft Auto, they got a in-game recorder. I don't know if you knew that, but you can start recording. So let's say I use this menu. I start recording. Let's say I can record for an hour. After that hour, I could go back. And what am I doing when I'm going back? I can't change the characters. I can't change nothing that just previously happened. But because it's all digital data, we could go back and change the camera angle. Make it more cinematic. Like, oh, that was just dope. So let me make it more cinematic. So when I do post it, it looks pretty good, right? Instead of worrying about trying to hold down the button in the game and my vision being, messed up. So you go back an hour in the game and you boom, you get to change the camera to make it more cinematic, more, and you do your voiceovers and your storytelling and things like that. If you're that type of streamer, some people just like the raw authenticity of it. First take If I make mistakes, just keep it. Because, you know, it's not necessarily scripted. You know, it's still, you know, different. So, what else? What else? What else? Okay. So, to create a heightened sense of urgency, you know, again, there's the 4 islands. Got the one in the middle, but there's 5 islands. One in the middle, 4 surrounding it. The one in the middle, safe zone, because it's already a free-for-all. To spicing things up, the 4 islands minus yours, so the 3 other islands, what they're going to be, they're going to disappear after a certain time, you know. So it's like a brawl, how the ring close, they drop an island and they bring one in. So if you're not in the center island or you're not on your island, you know, it's going to change. No. Right, no. It's going to be pick an island. Either get back to the island you came from, or, you know, that's the safe zone. Because all the other islands are going to disappear. You know, because the center island is a mixture of all the other islands. You know, that island needs to disappear too. So whichever island you're on, that's the safe one. Whether it's yours or somebody else that's hosting the lobby. This one is constantly changing, just like, you know, the others that's not yours. So it's always giving you new things, new combination of things. Like, I would have never thought to put that together, like, you know, Resident Evil atmosphere mixed with Jurassic Park. Like, holy crap, I would have never thought of that. You know, but because it's kind of randomized and things, you know, that's a good thing. The only thing that's tailored is your island.
Hello there. Do you ever think that something's like missing from you?
If you're not on your island and you choose to be on someone else's island, then that's the island you're going to be on. Your island's going to disappear until you decide to go back to it. You know, fast travel or whatever it may be. For example, you could steal a plane from the airport, but you could catch a flight from the airport. The flight from the airport would be like the flight to another island or another world, or back to yours. So it's a brief cutscene or something you want to make up for a loading screen. Brief cutscene of your character on the flight. Now, of course, the limitation isn't only to the invitation to create your own island isn't only for gamers. It's also for developers. You know, just like Ready Player One. You know, how there was like Minecraft Island. So it would be similar to that. So you could go fly to a Call of Duty island, and it's tailored for Call of Duty players. You know, so it's it might be just a big ass open world Call of Duty lobby. Get what I'm saying? Because of course they're gonna push for their franchise, and then the surrounding island might be another Activision game, you know, depending on how publishers decide to try to be on there, you know. So, of course, they're welcome. So, every island is going to be unique, just like each character should be unique. Just great publishers, or paid publishers, just have better access to developers and things like that. And that's sort of the point too, to be able to create developers and new places for people to publish things. Like some people may just use their island as a fashion show, or digital or a digital media place. What do you want with me? Got some money to blow up your stuff. Back up. Just a little busy right now. They got friends. But anyway, because it costs money but when you blow up people's cars, it costs money. You gotta pay that deductible. I don't know if people knew that, but yeah. Yeah, so it's basically to be used how you want. If you want to set up your island, if you just play The Sims a lot and you happen to have an idea to create a dating simulation, you should be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, my bad, I just had to kind of dust that dude. But that would be, sort of the thing. Go to creative mode, put your idea down, and, or your island could just be tailored to that, something like that. But again, remember, everything is based off age range. Not based off of it, but it's tailored around your profile, age and creation and things. Because like I said, video games aren't just for kids. Now, another thing, would be shouldn't be running up on me like that. They not ready. Nah, I'm playing. I can't talk like I'm the stuff in GTA. What they harassing me for? So it would be like, so another thing is that's going to be an issue that we have to address during game development would be, how do you create a balanced lobby? Now, lobbies will be created in multiple ways. First, there's multiple parameters. One parameter, age range. Thank you, sir. Second parameter, it would be player level, you know, so everybody's on the same level at least. Then it'll kind of be broken down into playstyle, even though you'll be centered around, you know, everything's sort of a jumble up anyway, or a mash. It'll still put you around players that has your similar play style. Like you might have adventure games and, you know, horror games and, you know, first person shooters as your, you know, primary games you play. So it'll put you around players that have similar games like that. So you might not have the same game, but it'll keep the theme together. That's not what I was looking for. Inventory. Snacks. But it'll be that, you know. And then it'll be badges. Because like I said, once you do so many hours or something in like creative mode, then, you know, you get certain badges. So that way it makes sure that even though, oh my gosh, it's back. Inventory. Body. You gotta pay for that. That jerk. What did I ever do to you? So it'll be like, dang, that jerk just threw me off. So that body armor is with the word I'm stuck on. Yeah, so it's still fair, because even though you may not use, because once you unlock badges, you unlock more menus, you know, to be able to tailor gameplay to your style. So because you could tailor gameplay to your style, it'd be people that's able to do the same thing even though they may not exercise those rights, you know, to do that. You know, some people might just play just for the love of playing the game. Others might play so that they could run how other people, you know, experience and try to affect other people, you know, play styles and things. So it'd be that everybody's still on the same level, that if somebody's just like, oh my gosh, for some reason they're just able to spawn so many hordes of bad guys, you know, it'll be like, once I decide, you know, like I have access to that too, I should have access, be able to do it too, even though I don't use it. Like, what's the point of just spawning hordes of enemies at me, you know? But I could do the same thing to be a jerk, you know. And of course you could report players and make sure you never lobby up with them again. And people that just play like jerks, you just put them in the lobby with other people that play like jerks. If you got enough, you know, so you got good and bad players. If you get enough, oh, that person's a jerk, you just get placed with other people that get complaints about. Either you're gonna find the best friend and y'all just gonna be jerks to each other, like or you're gonna be like, oh man, I'm tired of this, and, you know, find other people to play with. Hopefully you can. That'll probably be like a, I don't know, should be a way to have the option to appeal to different gamers. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I don't want to play, you know, with these type of gamers anymore. You know? Like, okay, well, join this guild for a while. You know, in order, because banning players sucks. You know, like I said, there's gonna be rules to the open world itself. Like, for example, I do want a crafting system because that's the point, to be creative. But like, if you're online, I'm not gonna say you know what's the word, no unlimited ammo, right? Or no invincibility. It's just we're gonna take it old school, and if you have unlimited ammo, it could only be for like 30 seconds. You know, and then that item is discarded. You have to create a new one. If you have invincibility, once that power up's gone, it's gone. You have to farm it again. You know, that's just to keep it fun for everybody, because there's no point in not being able to create these things, because you know it's what you can put your mind to. It's like, yeah, I know the max is only 30 seconds. Oh, that jerk. No, like, why? Because it's fun. I'm just doing a presentation right now. You know, just like here, I could choose to go incognito, basically. Oh, that's why I'm running around. I didn't get my car fixed. Contacts. Morris Mutual Insurance, because your cars have to be insured.
Morris Mutual Insurance. How can we help
Because
you?
somebody blew it up, there's no charge to me. They paid the deductible. The more fancy the car, the more they have to pay for the deductible. Like, that's not their car, so if I blew that up, I wouldn't have to pay a deductible. But you have to remember, video games are made of so many rules and stuff. The goal isn't to tell you no. The goal is for you to be able to express it properly. For example, The Sims can woohoo. Do I think if you're a mature, immature gamer, you should be able to in games? Sure, why not? You know? But do you have that add-on? Right. Is it gotta be consensual? So it'd be interactions, you know, because emotes and things, even if oh 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 my gosh. Oh, how do I duck? Don't matter. So anyway, you know, because you could do things with emotes and there's a way to communicate without actually talking to each other. So, you know, people like to simulate shit. That's why the Sims are hot. And the freedom to simulate what the fuck they want to simulate, excuse my language, is something they like. So just because you might not like it, like, why in the world does the world need a strip club in a digital world? Well, because people want to have some fun. They don't want to feel like they're a kid playing the game. You know? Create story arcs and things like that. and you should be able to do that. But again, gotta be of age, gotta purchase, of course, if you don't have a game that already includes that. You know, because some games include that. Then if you do, it's just trying to search and find it. You know, do you know what it was, how it was called in the game? As far as woohoo, like, you know, you should be able to search woohoo, like character capabilities, or after enough interaction with NPCs like The Sims, you know, then it's an option. All right, let's see. I could use. I'll use SimCity next because that I could not SimCity, City Skyline, and in that I'll give you a better visualization of the cities and how it's tailorable to you and things of that sort. So later.